Welcome to Kate's Kingdom. My name is Kate, and today we have a lot to talk about. So yes, we have a ton to talk about today, but first things first, like promised, we are going to tell the winner of the subscriber giveaway! So this is the first video you're watching of me. Hi, my name is Kate. We just hit 1,000 subscribers and did a giveaway for these beautiful ears. Now we are going to announce the winners. So I used a randomizer to find the number. It is this number right here. And then I counted up from the bottom, and the winner is... Congratulations! Yay! So please check your DMs on Instagram and I will be messaging you super duper soon. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Thank you to everyone who entered. I will definitely be doing another contest super soon. Secondly, I got new glasses. Could you tell? What do you think? Leave it in the comments down below. I think I'm like super into it. I don't know, it's different. A new era. So now we are here to talk about the time I was stalked on my college program twice. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about what led up to the event, the actual events themselves, what I did during the aftermath, and then also what I've learned and what I could have done differently or how you can apply this if this ever happens to you. Now, I'm not saying on the Disney College program this is gonna happen to you, you're gonna get harassed or stalked. Like, this is very rare stuff that happened, but I think it's really important that we talk about it because it doesn't really get talked about a lot. And I think it's really important to be safe, know your options, and kind of see what's going on. If you like storytime videos like this, please give this a thumbs up so I know and I'll make more of them. So let me set the scene. This is my first college program. This is my first time living in another state. I've been on the college program for maybe a month or so, and all of a sudden I'm going home from Epcot with my friends. Shout out C-Bus. And we are on our way home from playing in the park. So we're chatting and hanging out, and there's not that many people on the bus. All of a sudden, this gentleman who is sitting a couple rows in front of us, all of a sudden stumbles over and sits right in the seats in front of me and my group of like 4 to 6 friends. And we can kind of tell that his like words are really slurred and like he is definitely drunk. He's trying to hit on us and whatever. We're kind of laughing it off like, oh, this is kind of awkward, but like whatever, like we're almost home. We are new to the college program, like it's whatever, you know? We're kind of brushing it off because we're still like in the joys of being a new on the college program. So then we slowly drop everyone off and the last stop is Chatham, where I live. So I am with my one friend, Heather, and all of a sudden, this gentleman follows us off the bus, and now he's getting close to us, and he's like, can I get your number? Like, you are so pretty, like, to both of us, and we're kind of like, no, like, okay, like, have a good night, like, whatever, and we show our IDs and we walk into Chatham. So as we're walking into Chatham, the first building on the left is Heather's building, so we're gonna drop her off first, and then I'm gonna walk 2 buildings down to my building. So what we do is we cross the street away from this gentleman, and we are now like speed walking, because we're like, let's just get away from this kid. So she asked, are you okay to walk home? Do you want me to walk you home? And I said, no, because then you're gonna have to walk back by yourself, so don't worry about it. You go home, and I will text you when I get to my house. She goes into her apartment and is safe, and I keep walking down the street. And all of a sudden, I hear someone call out at me, and I turn around, and it's this gentleman. And he is now yelling at me from across the street, like, hey, come over here. I can show you a good time. Let me get your number. Come on over here and see me. And now he's crossing the street towards me, like, where are you going? And saying all these things as I have now turned around and I'm trying to leave. So he is getting closer and closer, and kind of, he's not running, but he is picking up the pace. So I, as a scared 20-year-old, bolt. So I run over to my friend's house, which is about like eight houses down to their apartment. I run all the way over and I run up the stairs and I'm like, someone is harassing me, I need to come in. So they look outside and they don't see him. And at the time I really thought I was overreacting. Kid was just trying to say hi and was a little drunk and like didn't know when to end it. But I felt really uncomfortable. And because now he knew that I lived at Chatham and I felt really uncomfortable, my roommates and I were talking and we're like, we should probably call security. So I call security. So at my friend's apartment, we were friends with all of their roommates, so all of them and all of us went over to our apartment and we all sat down. Security came through and got information and a description and things like that. And I basically said, like, I don't want to cause trouble, like, I don't want this kid getting fired. If he's saying that kind of stuff to me, if he goes and is doing that every night to other CPs, like, I don't think that's very fair. So I just want to write it down in case there's a pattern. Okay, Security writes it down. Next morning, I get a phone call that I'm gonna have a meeting with housing. You can have meetings with housing about all kinds of different things. You can have them if you have roommate quarrels or there's issues within your apartment or in your complex, things like that. So I go in and I'm just like kind of nervous because I'm still kind of shaken up. My roommate comes with me to give me support. We go to housing and basically I just say, look, like I don't want to get this kid fired. Like I don't want anything to happen to him. But I didn't feel comfortable on the bus. I didn't feel comfortable getting off the bus and trying to walk home with him following and crossing the street towards me. Like I just didn't feel comfortable. And so I just wanted to let someone know in case this is a pattern of behavior. Come to find out, he actually worked with my roommate. So I definitely didn't want to get him in trouble. I didn't want to get anyone in trouble. But basically what happened was housing is like, we have taken care of the situation. Come to find out, at work the next day, my roommate found out that he had been moved housing to a different complex because apparently he lived on the same side of the complex as us, so they were kind of treating it as like, oh, he was just walking home, so now you won't walk home in the same direction, which is fine. Like I didn't even want that much. I just wanted to write it down. I move on the rest of the program. I avoid the area that he works at because I don't want anything to do with it. And also the complex that he moved to, I never went to anyways. So like there was really a slim chance I would ever run into him. So I just tried to forget about it, use it as like a learning point in my life and keep going. Flash forward to my next college program. So it is late night at Magic Kingdom. I am exhausted. I've just worked all day in the parks. I'm waiting in the line to get on a bus at West Clock, and that's where cast members go to get the bus to go home. So I get on a bus and I'm standing, which is fine. It happens all the time. So I'm standing, I'm tired, whatever. All of a sudden, about 5 minutes into our trip, this guy gets up and goes, hey, you can have my seat. And I'm like, there's like 10 to 15 people standing. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Like, you can give it to someone else. And he's like, no, really, like, I insist. Like, please, like, I'll feel better if I have a lady sit. At this point, I was like, sure, like, whatever, like, I'll sit down. So I sit down, and then I turn and look at the person who's sitting next to me. And it is the kid from my first program who harassed me on the street, has now talk to his buddy so that he can sit next to me. He all of a sudden immediately started making conversation with me, like, where do you live? What's your name? Is this your first program? And I'm like, kind of like, oh yeah, like, it's my first program, and like, da-da-da-da-da. And then he's like, yeah, like, that's my really good friend over there that gave you your seat, like, you're really lucky. And I'm like, oh, like, yeah, it was nice. Like, trying to end conversations, like, trying to put headphones in, like, trying to not feel as uncomfortable as I'm feeling, because now I'm like, it's way too much of a coincidence that this friend randomly, not when people are getting on the bus, but 5 minutes into a bus ride, has gotten up, offered me specifically a seat, even though I was not directly next to where they were sitting, and is now the same kid that I had an incident with at my first program. So then he starts talking about his first program, and then he brings the incident up. So after the incident happened, basically they were kind of just like, guys, like, no retaliation on either part, la la la, which is totally fine. But now it feels like retaliation because he's talking about, oh, this crazy girl thought I was harassing her and she made me effing move and it was so ridiculous, and saying all this stuff to me with these like, and staring at me. So like, I haven't changed that much, like, at all. Like, I look very similarly than I did before. Like, I didn't like glow up or anything, but this happened and I am feeling so uncomfortable. And I know this is like a 25-30 minute bus ride and I am more uncomfortable than I felt in like a really, really, really long time. Like, I am so uncomfortable. And like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where he's living. Like, I don't know if he's gonna follow me. I had a feeling he knew who I was, but I wasn't 100%. And I also lied about my name, and I lied about it being my first program, and I lied about a bunch of different stuff. I couldn't lie about where I work because I was wearing my costume, but I didn't have my name tag on. But I just felt really uncomfortable. Like, I just didn't feel like a good situation. I was now once again feeling uncomfortable by the same person, and I had no idea what to do. No one on this bus knew what was going on. None of my roommates knew about what had happened on my previous program, so I immediately like texted one of my friends who was on that last program with me and told her what was happening because I was like so scared. I didn't know if retaliation was gonna happen. Like, I didn't know it was gonna happen. So I am off the bus at the first bus stop. It is not even my complex, and I am off that bus, and I wait for another bus. and get on that one to go home. He doesn't follow me off the bus, thank God, but I was about to run to a security guard and like if he came off the bus, and I was gonna stand next to them until he checked in and walked through. So now I'm on a separate bus, I'm like checking over my shoulder, I'm so uncomfortable, I don't know what to do. So I like run home and I like tell my roommates what's going on, and they say, oh my God, do you want to contact housing or security, or like what should we do? And I'm like, I'm not going to do anything, because at this point, if he is already here after doing that, I do not want him to have to move again. I don't want him to get fired. Like I'm so scared of retaliation that I was just like, I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen. So why I'm bringing this up is like, feeling uncomfortable like that isn't something that should be happening. That shouldn't happen to you. And like, it took me a lot of years to kind of figure that out. So that's why we're here today, to kind of talk about if this happens to you, what steps you can take. Retrospect, I probably should have told housing that it happened again. I should have told housing, hey, last program this happened, same kid, this program again. Making me feel uncomfortable on purpose. Having his friend get up mid-ride for me specifically to sit down next to him so he could rehash feelings shouldn't have happened. Like, that was retaliation, and in retrospect, I really should have done something about it. This is what I recommend if something like this happens to you. First of all, it is not your fault, okay? No one should make you feel uncomfortable. This should not be a thing that happens. Like, if you say, hey, go away, or please stop, it should stop, period. What I probably would have done is that first time on the bus, getting off the bus, I should have went over to security with Heather and say, hey, can you walk us to our building? We don't feel safe because of X, Y, and Z, and have one of the guards walk us over. Then the other part of the harassment wouldn't have happened, and that would have been the end of it. We wouldn't have made a report. Like, that would have been the end. It would have been done. But I really should have said something the second program. I'm really glad that nothing else happened, but I really want to encourage you to advocate for yourself. Like, if there's one thing you can learn from my channel, it's about advocating for yourself and learning from my mistakes, that sometimes you really just need to advocate for yourself more. And you know what? This kid, like, I wish him well. I hope he's learned in life. Like, I really do. Like, I really hope he's doing all right. But yeah, so that was the time I was harassed at Disney World. Disney College program applications are open right now. But seriously, you should apply. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I grew so much from it. And you learn from the ups and downs, you know, all the positives as well as when situations like this happen. But yes, question of the day is, do you have any Disney College program questions, whether it's applying or during your program or anything revolving the Disney College program? Please let me know down in the comments down below so we can have a conversation. Applications are open now. I will link them down below in the description as well. I am also going to link down below a link if you are ever feeling harassed or you need to talk to someone. I'm going to link some links down below as well. Alright folks, thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button. And I will talk to you all on Tuesday. Have a good day, friends. Bye!